Aloha, Chef Chris Garnier here in the Pearl Kitchen Lab, Culinary 223 Contemporary Cuisine at Leeward Community College Culinary Arts Program. Today I'd like to talk to you about brining. And brining is basically submerging or placing any type of meat, whether it be fish, we have some pork loin here, or chicken breast, or red meat, in a liquid. This liquid includes water, salt, and sometimes aromatics. The brine is cooked, and then it's chilled, and then you can place your type of meat in it. I'll be introducing to you a very flavorful brine today, and the reason why is because there's advantages to brining proteins. Say for instance in lean pieces of meat like pork loin and chicken breast. What brining does is it makes it more flavorful, juicy, and moist. And basically it's because the type of meat absorbs more liquid, more salt, and in this case today it's going to absorb more aromatics. In the fish case, brining actually helps prevent the protein from coagulating, and that's that albumin, and it's that white stuff that comes out of fish when you cook it too much, or you think you're cooking it too much. Brining will help prevent it from coming out or coagulating. So let's get started. I have here, to start off, some fresh thyme, some bay leaves, some needles from the rosemary herb. Right here are cloves, and basically cloves are just the immature flower from an evergreen tree. Right next to it I have a juniper berry, and it's not actually like a berry, like a regular berry would have like a fleshy innard, right? These are like a cone, very hard husk comes from the juniper. I have here zest of one lemon, zest of one orange, this flavorful seed right here, coriander. You're going to ask me, Chef, are we going to use this all? Yes, this recipe calls for 3 ounces. This is 3 ounces of coriander seed. Coriander, you all know, or if you don't know, parsley family, cilantro, used in a lot of Asian cooking, Spanish cooking. So right there we have 3 ounces. And of course I have a lot of salt here, some water right here to my left. Also, what we're gonna add last is this little pink salt. It's not salt, it's curing salt. And basically we have it right here, Instacure 1 and Instacure 2. Today we'll be using Instacure 1. The only difference between Instacure 2 and 1 is that Instacure 2 has also nitrate and nitrite. Instacure 2 is basically just used for curing meats that cure for a longer period of time. Example is salami, prosciutto, serrano ham. Those would take a longer time to cure, so they'll do the Instacure number 2, nitrate and nitrite. Alright, so first what I did is start off is it calls for 1 gallon of water, 1 pound 12 ounces of kosher salt. So I went ahead and actually put the half a gallon of water in here, and we'll start that to boil. Put our salt. Put that right here. Bring it up to a boil. And then we're just going to pulse all of these items in a food processor here. We have here our Robocoup. And this recipe also calls for 8 cloves of garlic crushed. Let's actually start that right there. So we're going to go ahead and our 8 cloves of garlic crushed. 3 ounces of our coriander seed, zest of 1 orange, zest of 1 lemon, and basically while we're at it, I zested the orange and the lemon with this microplane, and you just go over it really lightly. All of your zest comes in here. Put it inside here. Microplane is actually the company. It was evolved in the 90s, and Microplane is the company. They actually would make these for woodwork, and it just has some sharp metal teeth in there. So be very careful if you use a microplane. All right, we're going to add in our fresh thyme, our bay leaves, our needles, 20 needles around, of rosemary, our 4 juniper berries, and our 8 cloves. We'll add all this in. We're going to pulse it. Water's boiling right here. Right? So this right here, we're going to now put this in a cheesecloth tied with butcher's twine. Submerge all these aromatics in our half a gallon of water, 1 pound, 12 ounces of kosher salt. And like I said, the advantage to doing all of this is you're going to have a really nice, moist, flavorful piece of meat. All right, so cheesecloth right here. And I'm just going to go 2-ply. And like I said, we can use red meat as well. So we just pulsed it to bring all the flavors together, melt them all together, get all that natural oil out of the lemon zest and the orange zest. Just going to basically tie this up. Double knot. And then drop it into our salted water. See right here. And we're going to bring this up to a boil. And then turn it off. Then we'll have to chill it, and then we can go and proceed and brine our type of meat. So, a little tip here is to get the other half gallon of water and make it your ice water. Pour that in. Take this off the heat. And basically you're just bringing the water and the salt to a boil in the beginning. That way you know that the salt dissolved. Go ahead and mix this. And automatically start to chill it. All right. So the ice is melting. Aromatics are in there. Smells great. The key is to put your curing salt number 1 into your brining solution after it's chilled. Just remember, after it's chilled. Stir that in. And you should be ready to brine. Here I have some already made brining solution. Now, you see brining is submerging it in a liquid, right? I mentioned submerging and or placing it in a liquid, right? For a particular amount of time depending on the protein. So, the best way to save this brine was strained after. You can freeze it because it won't freeze. It won't get solid because there's a lot of salt in here. So you can use it anytime. Pop it out of your refrigerator. The key to not wasting the brine, all that hard work, is when you're going to go and brine your piece of type of meat, you just want to pour it on the bottom, half of the width of your type of meat. You don't need to submerge it. So, in this case, I'm going to brine our fish. Carefully place it. And there you have it right there. Only half of the width of the fish is being brined. We'll do that for about maybe 2 minutes at the most. Flip it over and cure it or brine it for another 2 minutes on the opposite side. And you can see already that brine, it's so potent and powerful, it's hitting the fish already. It's almost like it's seasoning and curing it. We'll take it out of the brine after. And we'll pat it dry. You don't want to rinse it off. And then it'll be ready to cook. Whether we sous vide it, grill it, saute it. Another thing you have to watch out now is that it's very concentrated in flavors, right? Same thing would apply for your chicken or your pork. You just want to put enough brine on the bottom so that when you put it in, it just brines one side. And then you flip it over and you brine it for the exact same time that you brined it on the first side for. Therefore, you have all this brine left. You're not wasting it and you're not cross-contaminating it. Use it for different proteins. All right? Thank you very much. Aloha.